Hello students, welcome to EPG Pathshala. I am Dr. Sandeep Walia, Head of the Department, University Institute of Tourism and Hospitality Management, Chandigarh University. Today we are going to discuss the module Tourism Product Regional, Central India under the paper Tourism Product of India. After completing this module, the students will be able to know what is tourism products. They will also come to know about the pilgrimage sites of Central India. The students will be aware about the national parks, sanctuaries, wildlife parks in Central Asia. Dear students, tourism industry is a borderless industry and is a service industry too. As soon as tourist intends to travel to a specific destination, the first thing in his or her mind is good experience. Components of good services are nice accommodation, safe journey, good food, few attractions and certain leisure attractions too. These are the parameters on which tourists judge and compare the services with the money spent. There are multi-suppliers which includes hotels, airways, travel agencies, etc. The infrastructural arrangements and facilities are an important component and include the services such as water supply, electricity, banks, roads, transport communication, services, etc. The experience of the tourist as soon as he or she starts or when she or he plans till one returns to the usual place of residence. Tourism product is not a single product but is a mixture of many products. There are multi-services and products along with attractions. Service products are a single activity or group of activities which a sales department offers which provides satisfaction to the buyer. The products that result in satisfaction of leisure, pleasure and business needs of a traveler and especially ones which are not available at his or her usual place are known as tourism products. It is a combination of the physical and psychological need satisfaction of a service taker. A country's first tourism product that it offers is its own beauty. Hence, tourist attraction, transport systems, hospitality, entertainment and infrastructure all combine to make a tourism product. The designing and development of tourism product should be taken care of and must be matched to the tourist's needs. Tourism products in a nutshell are a combination of services offered to the tourists. Let us now discuss about tourism products and its characteristics. Service is an important aspect of tourism products and hence its characteristics are governed by it. The first one is intangibility. The products can be felt, experienced, but very often not touched. A good service is something to be felt. The second one is inseparability. The product and the product supplier along with the service taker cannot be separated. The third one is the perishability. The service cannot be stored for future use. It remains till a time and then perishes. Then the next one is the variability. There are no controls or standardization. If it exists, it cannot be regulated, hence a variable product. Then there are dominant intermediaries. The intermediaries are dominant compared to product services, have high roles of the intermediaries. The next one is the lack of ownership. The person cannot own the product. It could be used, experienced for a while and then has to be let off. The next one is unstable demand and seasonal. The demand cannot be predicted to a large extent as any small happening can make all predictions fail. The demand is seasonal too and fluctuates heavily from one season to another. Dear students, let us now discuss about Central India. Central India is the heartland or the central part of India. Madhya Pradesh and Chhattisgarh are the twin states that comprise the Central India. There are breathtaking wildlife temples, historical monuments, architectures, etc. There are places of pilgrim interest, attractions for nature lovers, heritage monuments, mountain ranges, wildlife and wilds, thus catering to a variety of taste. Bhopal, Indore, Jabalpur, Ujjain, Gwalior are all world renowned places on the tourist map. The Bhimbekta rock shelters, Khajuraho's temples, Sanchi's Buddhist past are all nearly located in this region. Even some of the sites have attained the UNESCO World Heritage status. Bandhavgarh, Kanha are the project tiger reserves. Because of greenery, wild and forests, there are flourishing yoga and Ayurvedic centers spread all along. It has become a place for meditation and attaining peace. Tribal tourism too have a scope as there are around 40% of tribals and area is covered with forest which has minerals and wealth. Raipur, Bilaspur and Jagdalpur are the areas known for their places of Hindu and Buddhist religious interest. The Vindhyas and Satpura ranges are running across along with the Narmada river. The cuisine has salt and sugar as main ingredient. Some of the famous dishes of different places are bhutte ki kheer, dal pitha, kadi pakoda, dal bafla, poha, jalebi, khurma, etc. and make it on the food trail of tourism. Cultural variance can also be seen in dance, music and art forms. It is a hub for handicrafts also as tribal population heavily engaged in it. It is a mix of people, customs, rituals, history, tradition and nature. Let us now discuss about the tourism products of Central India. Let us take wildlife sanctuaries and national parks of Central India. Madhya Pradesh and Chhattisgarh is dotted with numerous wildlife sanctuaries and national parks. This gives it an added advantage of not only be on a tourist map but also to be on the nature lovers trail like wildlife lovers, ornithologists, flora and fauna researchers, etc. It has a repository of different kinds of flora and fauna. The places in the likes of Bandhavgarh National Park, Kanha National Park, Kangair Ghat National Park, Indravati National Park, Sita Nadi Wildlife Sanctuary and Udanti Wildlife Sanctuary are all located in this region. The beauty is pristine and virgin. Approximately 22% of the tiger population also dwells in this area. Besides the tiger, it is also home to hyena, bison, wolf, jackal, wild boar, wild dog, sloth bear, four-horned antelope, mocking hill hyena and the wild buffaloes. The main national parks of this region are Bandhavgarh National Park, Kanha National Park, the next one is the Panna National Park, then the fourth one is the Pench National Park, the fifth one is the Satpura National Park, the sixth one is Madhav Shivpuri National Park, the seventh one is the Van Vihar National Park, then there is Indravati National Park, the next one is the Kangair Ghati National Park. The main wildlife sanctuaries of the region are Archanakar Wildlife Sanctuary, Badalkol Wildlife Sanctuary. Then the third one is the Barna Vapara Wildlife Sanctuary. The fourth one is Pameda Wildlife Sanctuary. Then there is Sanjay Dubri Wildlife Sanctuary. The sixth wildlife sanctuary in this region is Vori Wildlife Sanctuary. And the seventh one is the Virgin Crucial Valleys Wildlife Sanctuary. The eighth wildlife sanctuary which falls in this region is Bhairamgarh Wildlife Sanctuary. Then there is ninth one is Bhoramdev Wildlife Sanctuary. The 10th wildlife sanctuary in this area is the Gomarda Wildlife Sanctuary. Let us now discuss about the sites of pilgrimages. There are so many sites like Lakshman Temple, Omkareshwar Mahadev Temple, Mahakaleshwar Jyotirlinga, Radha Krishna Temple, Ram Tekri Temple, Swastik Vihar, Kandriya Mahadev Temple, Champaran Pataleshwar Kedar Temple, Gadeshwar Temple, Ratanpur Temples, Rajiv Lochan Temple, Devi Jagdambi Khajuraho Temples, Dhaneteshwari Temple, Shivani Temple, Lakshman Temple, Chaturbhuj Temple, Ramghat, Prasavnath Temple, Annapurna Temple, Raja Ram Mandir, Tajul Masjid, Moti Masjid, etc. are the places where pilgrims throng in large numbers and even tourists visit them as a part of Indian heritage. The Tekri temple, which is situated on the famous Tekri hill, has statues of Rama, Sita, and Hanumana. Buddhism is represented by Swastik Vihar, and one could find Buddhist monks studying and meditating here. The entrance of Gandeshwar Mandir is decorated with the scene of Shiv Leela. Lakshman Temple is the finest example of a brick temple of India, whereas Shiva Temple is a temple of two goddesses, Kali and Durga, as energies both reside here. Jyotirlingas are important pilgrim as well as tourist attraction, and in this region lie two famous Jyotirlingas. The two Jyotirlingas situated here are the Mahakaleshwar and Omkaleshwar. Lord Vishnu is also well represented here in the temple of Chaturbhuj in the town of Orcha. It has a Rajputana history and Bundelas got it constructed. Rama in Padmasan with sword in hand could be found at Raja Ram temple. The ghats for holy dips are available at Chitrakoot, and Narmada Kund is also famous for the same. Islamic history is well depicted by the grandiose Tajul Masjid built by Mughal ruler King Bahadur Shah Zafar. It is a masterpiece in itself and took several years to be completed. Hence, with a variety, it is a heaven for pilgrimage. Let us discuss about monumental heritage. The Indian history is incomplete without studying the monuments of Central Indian region. The monuments of Chhattisgarh and Madhya Pradesh depict a lot of variety like palaces, forts, caves, tombs, stupas, and reservoirs. The protection of these monuments are under the hands of state, central government, their bodies, and some in private hands too. The Khajuraho group of monuments attracts tourists globally with their erotic motifs. The whole of Kama Sutra treatise on sex has been etched on stone, and carved scripture discusses various poses. These temples have been constructed in the Nagra style of architecture and is a UNESCO World Heritage Site in India. The Buddhist stupa at Sanchi is also a UNESCO World Heritage Site in India. Buddhist, tourists, and cultural tourists visit this place. It is known for its ancient art and architectural value and is one of the most visited Buddhist sites of India. Jal Vilas Palace is also an architectural marvel and was initially a European-style palace, now converted into a museum. There is a Jahaz Mahal too. As the name suggests, it looks like a ship floating on water but is a palace in actual. India's first marble monument is also located in this area, known as Hoshang Shah's tomb. Besides these, the other major monuments of this region are Rani Mahal, Jahangir Mahal, Bhimbedka rock shelters, Ashiargarh forts, and few to name. The Chhattisgarh monuments present a variety of architectural design and are a marvel. The more famous monuments of this area are Kutaghar Dham, Kavarda Palace, Shiva, Bhoramedev temples, Khadia Dham, Ratanpur Fort, and Sarodas Reservoir and Fort of Ratanpur. Michael Hill's palace, known as Kavarda Palace, was designed and built under Maharaja Dharam Raj Singh from 1936 to 1939. Kutaghar Dam has become a very famous picnic spot and is 10 kilometers away from the palace of Ratanpur. The Khadia Dam is renowned for its beauty and is situated approximately 85 kilometers from Bilaspur, somewhere near Lormi, and is known for its serene surroundings. From Raipur, at a distance of 135 kilometers, is situated the Shiva Bhormedev temple and was built in the 11th century. It is a famous sunset point. The best view is visible from Sarodha Reservoir, which is around 12 kilometers from Kavarda Palace. It has an artificial lake too, where people travel to for picnics. Let us now discuss about the lakes, rivers, and gardens Madhya Pradesh has many lakes and gardens in its geographical landscape. Chhattisgarh complements it with its rivers and caves. The Narmada has created uneven tracts of land by its gushing water. The vegetation is deciduous and results in lakes and water formation. The scenic beauty has been enhanced due to the presence of rivers, gardens, lakes, and caves. The rivers and caves that are famous in the regions are Kailash Gufa in Jashpur, Bhimbhekta Caves, Kotibera Ib River in Jashpur, Kutumabsar Caves, Chatris of Orcha and Kailash Gufa in Bastar, and waterfall in this area are Danpuri Waterfall, Chitradhara Waterfalls, Ranida Waterfalls, Chitrakote Waterfalls, Mandava Waterfalls, Thamadar Gomer Waterfalls, Kyoti Falls, Tirthagar Waterfalls, etc. The major lakes in this area are Bhojtal, Lower Lakes, Upper Lakes, Motia Talab, Sargam, Sagar Lake, Mullah Sarovar and Manit Lake, etc. There is a beautiful rock-cut cave known as Kailash Gufa. It is in Jashpur. Jashpur is also blessed with Kotibira Ib River and is very breathtaking with scenery and is a rocky spot too. A fair held here attracts many patrons. Kailash Gufa and Kutumsar Gufa are also great attractions. Their historical importance make them visit worthy. This region is a tourist delight with multi-river, lakes, caves and waterfalls. Dear students, let us now discuss about Central India's art and craft. Besides the nature's benevolence in terms of water bodies, the central part of India is rich in art and crafts too. Nature bestowed in man enhanced it is the dictum for the region. It has a rich tradition of arts and crafts. The tribal population, old history, it showcases a variety of handicraft products peculiar to this region. The handicrafts are extraordinary and the tourist watches it with awe and wonder. Charisma lies in the pure and clear forms of art and craft that exist in this region. Bamboo cane weaving is an art duraries and carpets, wrought on work, jute metal ornaments, paper mache, artificial tribal jewelry, stuffed toys, woodcraft and zari are must buy for a tourist. The tribes are Gond, Maria, Muria, Dolra, Bagia are the ones who have kept the traditions alive. Be it art, music, dance, they have mastered it and passing it down to the next generations. They make hunting traps, baskets, fishing goods from bamboos. Each tribal group will have their own specialty. Terracotta is also one art that has flourished here. Gwalior has jail work, Jabalpur and Tikamgarh is famous for statues, diyas, animal fingeries and pots. Those sell well as souvenirs. Dear students, let us now take on unique culture of Central India. India is a land of cultures. It has cultural amalgamation. The diversity witnessed here is unimaginable anywhere else. It has almost places of all the major religions of the world and has been the birthplace for major religions too. Religions give birth to cuisines, faiths, beliefs, architecture, food, dresses, etc. The Central India is filled up with tribal faith and practices along with abundant natural resources. This also has resulted into new cultural forms. This is an anthropologist's delight. Gond tribe, Muria tribe, Bagia tribe, Bishanhorn, Maria tribe, Dolra tribe, Punjia tribe, Munda tribe, Kamar tribe, Dhanwar tribe, Bhyana tribe, Bhayana tribe, Muria tribe, Kol tribe, Korba tribe, Ajumaria tribe, Halba tribe, Bhatra tribe, Dhurva tribe, Bijadwar tribe, Rajgond tribe, Parghi tribe, Manji tribe, Dandamai Maria tribe, Kavar tribe, Parja tribe and Sarva tribe are unique in themselves and portray different cultures. Each tribal pocket will have its own unique festival music, dance, folkways, folklores, food and languages too. Let us now discuss about fairs and festivals. India's festivals are religion based and based on changing seasons too. As an agrarian society, change of seasons depicted certain kind of agricultural produce and it was celebrated. There is a sense of pomp and celebration in all the festivals. The tribals also celebrate many festivals in the central Indian region. They also worship the forces of nature and hence their festivals are very elaborate and ritualistic. Fairs are also a common phenomenon centered around shopping. There are cultural activities mixed in it. There is feasting and merrymaking which brings out of colorful traditions and rituals of the tribe. The Jhabua and Bastar fairs are globally famous. There is dance, drama, cockfighting, music, partying happening in the festivals and the fairs. Beside these, there are certain festivals that have been started to celebrate the cultural elements like the Khajuraho Dance Festival and the Tansin Music Festival. At Gwalior, other fairs and festivals that can be marked in a tourist calendar are Lokrang Samaroh, Kumbh Mela Ujjain, Kalidas Samaroh, Panchmadhi Utsav and Malwa Utsav. The Shera festival is also very pompous and is celebrated with a lot of vigor. Here it is not the burning of the Ravana which is important, but it is dedicated to the goddess Dhaneshwari. The tribal goddesses and statuettes are brought from different regions to this place of Jagdalpur. It is known as Ranjim Lochan Mahotsav and almost lasts for a fortnight. It brings in various tribes together where they exchange gifts, goods and do their yearly shopping too. The dances of this region are also popular like Gaur dance, Moria dances, Sela dance, Karma dance, Kaksar dance. Festival shows a great deal of joy and mirth. Let us now discuss about cuisine. The cuisine in India is varied because of the different seasons and different seasonal herbs, vegetables, etc. available in different parts of the country. Each region has its own cuisine to discuss and display. The flavors, smell, names and the ingredients will be different. Each season will bring a new set of cuisine. The cooking styles have variety. It has both vegetarian as well as non-vegetarian food available. Sweet and salt dominate the flavor in the central part of India. The food of this region is totally different from other areas. Wheat, rice, meat, fish-based fishes and more popular. Wheat, jawar, rice are almost used in everything. Indore has one of the best foods. The people are hospitable. Gwalior and Indore has lot of dairy products. Bhopal is non-vegetarian's delight with Rogan Josh, Korma, Keema, Biryani, Kebabs and Bafla. Overall the cuisine is rich, aromatic, spicy and creamy. Arhal dal is very common. Vegetables are cooked in variety of styles. Cashew, barfi, jalebi, khurma, moong ka halwa, etc. are also equally popular. Fruits are also consumed and used in cooking. Mangoes, watermelon, apple, banana, papaya and guavas etc. are popular. Lassi, sugarcane juice and buttermilk are common beverages. Dear students, let us now discuss about the connectivity of Central India. The connectivity of Central India is wonderful. It is well connected through roadways, railways and airways, both locally and internationally. Chhattisgarh is still developing with Swami Vivekananda Airport at Raipur. The cities Bhopal, Gwalior, Indore, Khajuraho and Jabalpur of Madhya Pradesh have airports. These airports are served by private and state airlines. Chhattisgarh has few airstrips too. The Raja Bhoj International Airport in Bhopal and Devi Ahilyabai Holkar International Airport at Indore has domestic and international connections. Gwalior Airport, Civil Airport Khajuraho, Dumna Airport Jabalpur are other airports of Madhya Pradesh. Railways too is well laid out. Bhopal being the main junction. It has its importance because of Delhi Madras railway line is linked from here. All major Rajdhanis and Shatabdis stop here. Chhattisgarh main junctions are Raipur and Durg. States and private buses too ply on the national highways and state highways. The highways are well laid out as Chhattisgarh is major industrial area. Intercity as well as interstate buses are available. New projects are coming up, and in coming times it will be better connected. Dear students, let us now summarize what we have discussed in this module. The tourism products offered to the tourist should match the requirements of the tourist. Tourism product is different in the sense that it has a high level of service component in it. It helps the customer to meet his leisure, pleasure and fun needs. The characteristics of tourism product makes it unique and makes it different from other products. The tourism product has a lot of variety, like it may be an event, a place, a thing or a natural phenomenon. 3 A's: attraction, accessibility and accommodation is mandatory. Central India, with its twin states of Chhattisgarh and Madhya Pradesh, seems to be a complete package and can be popularized with different market segments of the tourist. It can be made a year-round destination with the kind of variety that it has to offer. From natural sites, historical sites, natural man-made products, cultural products, it has a variety along with a rich cuisines to attract the tourist. With these words, I sum up this module. Thank you.